Hi everyone, it's Helen here from Bodywork-Pilates, and here's another in our How to Get the Best From series. Today we're going to have a look at Mermaid. So Mermaid is a side bend that requires both an internal and external rotation of the upper thighs. It can be a little tricky. Some people aren't so great at internally rotating, some people love it. So there are, as always, there's modifications. So the seated position of Mermaid is sometimes also called deer. So you might hear it referred to as deer. I tend to call it Mermaid. I'm going to take my right leg off to the side. I'm going to internally rotate my leg, so my inner thigh is rolling inwards. And I'm going to take my right shin roughly about parallel to the far edge of my mat. My left leg has externally rotated, my inner thigh has rolled up, and my front shin is more or less parallel to the forward edge of my mat. So I've created this half square position with my legs. Now, if you are like me and much prefer an external rotation than an internal rotation, then you may find that this feels a little bit tight, a little bit pulling on the upper thigh of that right leg. And if that's the case, then if it's manageable, then work with it, because you'll probably find over a period of time that that will ease off a little bit. If it's completely unmanageable, I'm going to give you an alternative seated position in a moment. The thing you want to be really, really aware of is that you're trying to get your pelvis as level and as even as possible. So it isn't about getting this left knee down on the floor. If I try to get my left knee down completely on the floor, then I do lift some of my weight out of my right buttock. And I want my pelvis, as I say, to be as square as possible. I want to try and get a little bit of even weight down underneath me. It's not completely even, but we're getting there. But this knee may not necessarily go down completely. So feel free to just put something, a pillow, a block, something underneath that leg if you feel it needs a touch of support. Now, that's quite important to keep the pelvis still. What's even more important is that you don't feel any discomfort, any pain, anything untoward in this right knee. What we don't want to do is we don't want to punish our knees for what our hips can't achieve. The rotation comes from the hip. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to start rotating the thigh, get so far, and then try and complete it with the shin. That's never going to do your knees any good at all. So again, if that doesn't work for you, bear with me and I will give you an alternative seated position. Really simple as well. So assuming that we're okay like this, we want to sit up really tall, so stack that spine, slightly retract the chin, find a slight tensioning. So it may be that you need to apply your slight corset, your slight lift of pelvic floor, or it may be you're at the stage where you understand that that naturally engages anyway. So thinking about how you can support the body, letting those abdominal muscles, those back muscles, those waist muscles, the pelvic floor, the diaphragm, the shoulder girdle, all work together, that's your core, all work together to hold you up and stable. Okay. And then we just simply work into a side bend. It's a side bend that contracts into one side and opens into the other. So the fingertips come down to the floor. I always say slightly forward of the peripheral vision, so that we know we're not going to be trying to reach back, and there's no rotation in this. So I'm going to keep my left fingers light to the floor, inhale my right arm up, and as I exhale, keep my right hip down and side bend over. Inhale, center, exhale, release. Now inhale the left arm up and exhale over to the right. That'll feel very different on each side. Inhale, center, exhale, release. Inhale the arm up, keep the pelvis down, steady and still. Ease over, inhale, center, exhale, release. Inhale, arm up, exhale, over. So again, there's no rotation. Let's just do it one more time on each side. Shoulders slide down as the arm comes up. Inhale, as you exhale, anchor down through that pelvis. Try not to shift the weight heavily from side to side. Inhale, the arm up. Exhale, as we side bend over, that will feel very different, much tighter. Inhale, center, exhale, release. Okay, so what we haven't done is we haven't shifted the weight out of the pelvis when we go over to the left. We're not leaning, okay? We're anchoring and we're lifting and side bending. So we get this contraction down through this side, we get this elongation through this side. Okay, so we're just going to switch legs, but first and foremost, take the legs forward, release the knees, give the legs a little bit of a shake out. Now, for those of you that struggle to do the mermaid or the deer position, it's super simple for you. All you do is sitting on a block if you want to, but sit yourself up nice and tall. You can either take the legs in prayer position like this, you could take the legs into an elongated position, you could even have the knees bent. You just take a simple position that's not going to aggravate your hips. For my clients, most of the time, this is their alternative, okay? Because you won't get the work going on into the rotation of the hip, but you'll get the movement coming from the side bend of the spine. So, but if you can, okay, take yourself over to the other side. Notice again, it'll probably feel a little different one side compared to the other. I'm a little happier on this side because I don't have quite the issues within my knee. My right knee is replaced, my left knee is my own. And so I don't feel quite the tension within my knee, although it's not painful on that side, it definitely does feel different. I can still work on the external rotation. I could shift my weight if I wanted to, but actually I want to be here, so I want to feel like I'm upright. And then again, so if you're working in a more uniform position, then that's fine. You'll do exactly the same in terms of the upper body and arms, but you'll just be in a different position. So inhaling, the left arm up, anchoring that left hip. As you exhale, just easing over. Inhale, center, exhale, release. Inhale the right arm up and exhale over. That'll probably feel a little tighter. You won't feel like you're able to go quite so far, quite so easily, and release. And again, inhale up, lift up and over. Keep that pelvis still, heavy and stable. And again, inhale up, exhale over. This should feel really nice. It should feel like a great stretch through the side of the spine, through the waist, right through to the fingertips, underarm. That's it. And one more time. Inhale the arm up, exhale over, inhale center and release. And then once again, just giving the legs a little bit of release, taking the legs forward, perhaps giving them a little shake out. So again, the salient points are to make sure that you are in an even position through the pelvis. So if that means you have to adjust the position of the legs in order to get the movement, it is primarily a side bend. The fact that we get a little fancy with the legs is great, that adds another element to it, but primarily it's a mobility movement for the spine. So if you need to adopt a more uniform position, then that's fine if the mermaid leg position doesn't work for you. We do use that mermaid leg position sometimes on the reformer, but again, we can modify if necessary. So there you go, that's a little bit of information about mermaid. See how you get on with that. If you've got any questions, then just drop a comment and I will try to answer it for you. Take care.